What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table we have another match for KeyForge from a tournament held at Black Knight Games in Hamilton, Ontario. Brought to you by these awesome people that support the channel over at patreon.com/Rob's Gaming Table. The link is in the description below for all this stuff. Thank you for the support. In this match we got Alex on the left, we have myself on the right. And it looks like my opponent's going first here with Mac the Knife. Out of Shadows. He's elusive. Yeah, I think he acts like he belongs to all houses, and then he has an ability to deal a damage to a creature. If he destroys it, he gains an amber. Basically like a little Seeker Needle. And it looks like I put Blood Money, put a couple amber on his head, playing Brobnar here. Mighty Javelin, Earthshaker coming in, destroying him, and getting that amber right back. And I have a War Chest out there to help me gain some amber after creatures are destroyed in a fight. If you want to know more about the deck that I'm playing, the Shadows, Brobnar, and Untamed deck on the right, click the link in the description below. I posted a deck overview video earlier going into details about the deck, so you can see that here. Or there, sorry. I'll be playing the deck in the next few videos, so stay tuned for that. And it looks like my opponent is going with a Bolter Grabber Jammer, throwing a Red Planet Ray Gun on the Grabber Jammer, which after a reap will deal 1 damage for each Mars creature in play to a creature. And then he's got a Mind Warper, who steals that amber off of your Archon card and puts it on your own characters so that they can get it later. So right now I have 3 amber. My opponent is at 1. Yeah, I figured I'd try something new. I took the camera, followed myself around this 3-round tournament, and then took it to another tournament a couple days later at 401 Games in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and filmed myself through a, I think it was like a 17 or 18 player tournament, 4 or 5 rounds, so that'll be coming up on the channel after this tournament concludes. But I just followed myself playing the same deck and just filmed myself match after match to kind of see how the deck did. And that's why I did the companion overview deck analysis video that I was talking about earlier. That's linked in the description below, where I go over all the cards in the deck, the synergies, anti-synergies, the ratings, and that kind of thing. So let me know if you guys like that. Leave it in the comments below if you'd like to see that in the future. But yeah, just trying something new. All right, so it looks like I'm clearing away some Mars there, getting some amber after destroying creatures in a fight. I got the Earthshaker, has 4 damage on him now. And all that's left on the other side is a Bolter and 1 amber. Using that Mighty Javelin to effect there to kill somebody. And the Mars keep on coming. We got a Zookeeper and a Grabber Jammer. So my opponent, Alex here, has like an amazing Mars lineup I'm seeing right now. A couple Grabber Jammers, a Bolter, Mind Warper, Zookeeper. All we need to see is like 2 or 3 John Smiths, and then... yeah, he may have the best Mars lineup we've ever seen. Maybe a Dominator in there. It needs to be in there too, but yeah, that's kind of gross. They just keep coming. But if you saw the overview video, I have some answers for the little squishy Mars dudes, as we see with the Earthshaker there. But also have a couple Hebe the Huges and some regrowths to help get them back in play if needed. So it sounds like I'm naming Untamed here. Throwing a Dew Fairy. Big Twig on the left flank, Flaxia on the right. I have more creatures now since Flaxia came in, and then the play ability will trigger off after she's played to gain me 2 amber for having more creatures than my opponent, and that puts me on check with 6. Actually, not on check because there is a Grabber Jammer out there, so I'm, yeah, which my opponent just pointed at, and yeah. So I take back the check. I have been unchecked. I had to chickadee check myself before I wrecked myself there. Thank you to my opponent for pointing that out. All right, sounds like he's naming Mars. He's got a bunch of Mars in play. Puts his hand down, so maybe he doesn't have any Mars in hand. And he's going to reap with the Zookeeper. And the Zookeeper is going to take one of my creatures and lock it up in a cage, putting it in his archives there. Takes my Big Twig out of play. And if he ever takes his archives, that will return to my hand since I own the card. And the Bolter is going to finish off Earthshaker, actually, and purge him from his Reap ability. But I just put him in my discard there. So I guess at the time I didn't realize it was purged, and my opponent didn't tell me it was purged. I know this now, watching this video later, but looks like I screwed up there. Hopefully I don't pull that Earthshaker back. That would be very crappy. Alright, so Grabber Jammer does a Reap and captures one. So my opponent is at 5. And not on check, but he's got me down to 5 Amber now. And I'm going to go Untamed. I'll Reap, get 2 Amber with the Dew Fairy. Doing what Dew Fairies do. And Lupo Discard coming in. Another great anti-2 strength weenie card where he plays and he just deals 2 damage to a creature. I think enemy creature, actually. So that's how I get rid of the Zookeeper. And we got the Regrowth coming in. Oh, and I did take the Earthshaker back off a Regrowth. Oh, no. Dirty cheater, Rob. Dirty cheater. Obviously, my opponent didn't catch it either. I know the Bolter very well now, after seeing him play in a lot of the decks at that, what was it called? Vault Tour large tournament, where a lot of the top decks seem to have that creature in it. But at the time, I think Mars creatures all looked the same to me, so I didn't realize it was a Purge guy. But now I know him as like the purging time traveler dude, because that's what he does best. But and then I key charge to get a key quickly there before it goes back to my opponent and he can capture more. And I did have to forge at 7 due to Grabber Jammer still being on the table. And of course lost one off the key charge. Alright, so he's going Shadows. We got a Bad Penny dropped on the board, and then a Silent Dagger thrown onto the Grabber Jammer, who adds the Reap ability. He can deal 4 to a flank creature, I believe, 4 damage. So that just adds to his other Reap ability, makes him super awesome. And my opponent is now on check with 6 Amber, and he's captured one of mine. So I'm going to bait and switch since I have no Amber on my faction card. We'll go down to 3 Amber each. Gets my opponent off a key, gets me halfway to my next key. Throw a Shadow Self down beside the Dew Fairy to protect it. And Umbra on the other side, another great little character to be protected by Shadow Self there. And I'll just draw some cards, pass over to my opponent. Didn't get any Amber on that turn. Just another setup turn there. And sounds like my opponent's going Sanctum. And Spirit's Way, he's going to destroy each character 3 or higher, which helps get that Grabber Jammer out of there. I'm okay with that. But he does clear my board other than the Dew Fairy and the Umbra. So no more Shadow Self protecting them. And we just have Bad Penny on the other side. So Battle of the Weenies now. The other problem now having that Earthshaker in hand is he would wipe my board since all that's left is my little guys. So maybe it's a bad thing that I got that guy back. So my opponent messed up there playing Glorious Few after he just blew up the board. And yeah, he just kind of takes it, he leaves it open there. If he asked to take it back, I would have probably let him, but he just kind of admitted his mistake and moved on. So I feel kind of bad. But yeah, I think he was 3 Amber short there by playing it after he wiped the board. But yeah. So I'm going to go Brobnar here. And it looks like I have the upgrade that gives Blood of the Titans that gives a creature +5 power. So I'm obviously setting up to play Earthshaker here and protect him from death. So Umbra survives it since he's now at 7. 7 with Skirmish. And there's Earthshaker blowing up the Dew Fairy, sending Bad Penny back to hand. And a Troll on the other side. Headhunter on the other side, on the right flank there. And sitting at 5 Amber, 4 creatures on board, passing over to my opponent.
Alright, I'm going to choose Sanctum. I'm going to play Frank.
And we have Frankus coming into play. He's if a creature's destroyed, he captures one, fighting him. And shoulder armor to give him +2 armor and power while he's on the flank, I believe. And then he's going to do Terms of Redress to capture 2 on a friendly creature. And Frankus is his only friendly creature, so of course it's going there. And it looks like he's now at 6 amber. And that's going to be it. So it's passing it over to me. And I'm going to go Shadows here. Got to get him off that key, it sounds like. Especially with Umbra fighting. So I'm going to throw 7 at him. I believe 3 gets blocked by the armor. So 4 should get through. But he's a 8 power creature. But I'm just doing it to really steal an amber, get my opponent off a key. And there's an Evasion Sigil, giving me an amber and helping protect me when my opponent tries to fight me. But it also hurts me when I try to fight my opponent, because you have to discard the top card of your deck. And if it matches your active house that turn, the creature just exhausts with no effect. So of course I played it after Umbra. And then I do a Nerve Blast to finish off. Did I mess up that there too? 2 damage to Frankus. I think he had +2 power, so he's an 8. And he had 4 damage. That happened really quick there. I might have missed that. You guys can rip on me in the comments below if I mess that up. Obviously, my opponent let it slide too. I may have played another action before that, but I just see a Nerve Blast on the top of the discard pile to get rid of Frankus there and stole 1. And we got a Staunch Knight on the board for my opponent on the flank. He gets some extra power, and then we have a Gatekeeper that came in and captured all but 5 of my ambers, so my opponent cut me off my second KeyForge there. I have an old Bruno out there that's captured 3 that I played last turn. So I got that first key. My opponent's doing a good job keeping me off a key, but I've been doing the same to him, and he's yet to get a key. So I'm still ahead here. I also apologize in advance if I miss the Evasion Sigil, or my opponent does. That seems to happen at least once a game when there's lots of fighting happening. So I'll Reap with old Bruno there, gain an amber. Fight with Umbra. And there we go. My opponent helped me catch it, and I get a special delivery, so he just exhausts with no effect. And throw an Urchin out to steal the last amber there, putting myself at 7. So I'm in check for my second key. So I wonder if my opponent didn't mess up the Glorious Few, if I would have been able to keep him off a key at that point, he would have forged. Because, I mean, we got 3 extra amber, so... But I've been stealing amber and keep him off keys so far, so I don't know if I'd still be as ahead or not, but... So we got Subtle Maul in there, and then Shadow Self, Bad Penny played back out there on the left flank. And that's going to be it. So he lets me forge my second key for 6 amber. So it sounds like I'm going Brobnar here. I have 3 of them on the board. Have some in hand. Looks like I'm taking my time because I have Heavy the Huge, who's going to deal 2 damage to each other undamaged creature. So that's going to hit Shadow Self with 6, I believe. Actually, Shadow Self shouldn't have, because armor would have blocked from Gatekeeper. So it should be, yeah, we caught it. So he's at 5 damage on Shadow Self, thanks to Gatekeeper blocking one of them. And then the 2 gets blocked on the Staunch Knight, having 2 armor. So it's a good way to eliminate the armor with Heavy the Huge, and then come in with the other Brobnar guys to try to take out the Sanctum dudes where you know, the armor would prevent the death. So lots of damage spread out there. Kill an Urchin. Looks like Urchin got squished. I don't want to play the other Heavy the Huge. Not sure why. Because he only would have hit the creatures that weren't damaged. So it would have hit the other Heavy the Huge on my side. So it probably would have been better just to play him. Because then it would have hit the Staunch Knight, hit the Gatekeeper with damage. Then the Gatekeeper's damage would go to Shadow Self. Bad Pennies would go to Shadow Self. Shadow Self would be dead. So I probably should have done that. But maybe I wanted to fight Shadow Self instead here with Headhunter. And the fight doesn't happen. Looter Goblin comes off the top of the deck thanks to Evasion Sigil and makes him exhaust without effect. And then we got a Troll. Nope, maybe not the Troll. Looks like Earthshaker now might be coming in on the fight. Yeah, Earthshaker's going to attempt Shadow Self again. And this time it's a Witch of the Eye. So Shadow Self is gone. Just trying to rack up some power, or some amber, sorry, off of the War Chest, I think. So Troll's going to try to fight Gatekeeper here. And it goes through, as we got a regrowth on the Evasion Sigil. So kills Gatekeeper. I'm going to get some amber back. And puts the Troll 1 damage away from dying. Yeah, War Chest to gain 2 more amber from the 2 enemy creatures that were destroyed during fights. Puts me at check with 6. And that's it. Sounds like my opponent has no way to capture, steal, or make me lose any amber or make my keys more expensive. He seemed to get loaded with that stuff at the start of the game. It's too bad a few mistakes were made there on both sides. We're all both dirty cheaters, but not every game is perfect, as we've learned, so we'll take this as a learning experience. Feel free, if I missed anything, to let me know in the comments below. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button if you want to see more KeyForge. If you want to donate to the channel, the link is in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.